Welkom by Motor die Dood Potgooi. Dit is een van ons eerste rondes. Wat 'n verskriklike lekker dag. Saam met my is Caleb. It is our, ek wil amper sê, resident Englishman.
Thank you, yeah. There's going to be a lot of this conversation I unfortunately don't understand, but I'll try my best to just apply my brain just a little bit harder.
Yeah, we're gonna throw you into the deep end. Ergens gaan vir jou iets sê en jy gaan net knik, ou. Jy gaan net sê, okay, 100%.
Ek nie verstaan, but I'll try.
Great. Saam met ons vandag, ons is so lekker om die tafel gesprek hê, met 'n paar manne wat weet van koffie af. Nou, kyk in die moed, hou ons baie van koffie, ouens like koffie. Almal ergens het ietsie wat hulle drink. Elke tannie het 'n blik ergens bo op die kas met 'n bietjie riekie in. En of hy so 'n bietjie gelaai is met sigorei en of jy nou 'n snop is en vir jou 'n bietjie 'n sterker enetjie kry. Hierdie manne weet verseker beter as enigiemand anders. Miskien sommer so sê wie jy is, waar jy is, wat jy doen. En ons begin hier so by jou, Sander.
So my first up. Sander Venter. Ek is by Robin Chat Coffee Roastery betrokke. Ons is hoofsaaklik fokus maar op specialty koffie. Die higher end goed wat bietjie stoei in die moed, maar ons is hier om 'n impak te maak en ja, kort en kragtig.
Great, ek moet sê, regtig lekker koffie. Ja, enige iemand wat so 'n bietjie rondhang en wonder waar om koffie te kry, Robin Chat, great. Jay.
Hello everybody, my name's, should I speak close like this?
Kom 'n bietjie praat.
Hello, okay. I'm the second English guy here, so I'll translate for you, no problem.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
It feels so nice to have another English person here, I feel home. Hey, Petrus.
Should we speak English?
No, you don't have to.
Ja, die English is a bit scarce in the mood.
In the mood when you drink a coffee, then dan praat jy skielik Afrikaans.
On Sundays, I don't speak English.
It's a Sondag.
Sorry chum. Die airtime is nog nie gelaai nie.
Yeah, and that's who I am, no joking. Yeah, I think personally, I started in the coffee industry about 10 years back, almost, pretty much a decade ago. Sure. First buying and selling coffee and then built it up. And me and a friend started a shop on the other side of the mountain called Bean Juice Coffee Bar. And then 2 years ago, fortunate enough to come here and take Grounded as a business. And it's quite sentimental because we were chatting earlier. Grounded's also been here for about 10 years now. And it's the first place I sort of learned to do some baristering. So it's quite full circle.
Sure.
And I think, coffee's so deep in our roots, in South African roots. We love to, as the Afrikaans people say, kuier, any opportunity. And sometimes, if you don't drink alcohol and you take a friend out for a coffee.
'n bietjie boeretroos.
Yeah, exactly. There's some value in that as well. So I don't think we're necessarily just in the coffee game, but also in community is a big part of what coffee is. So yeah, that's who I'm at. And me and Petrus go a bit back as well, so there's a little bit of history, yeah?
That's why you're kniping one another there under the table.
He wants to hold my hand, it's like...
Lekker. Thank you, Jay, for actually hosting us today. It's such a privilege to be in your shop, to be here. We'll talk a little about Grounded and the heart behind it, some of the history behind it, but we'll get there. Lekker. Piet, chum.
I almost feel like I have to speak English now, but...
Asseblief toch.
Yeah, should I go? Ek's Petrus Bredel. Ons het Pleite Koffie begin in 2019. En eintlik uit 'n plek van besigheid meer as koffie en ons het eintlik maar regtig verlief geraak in die trade en in die produksie van koffie. Ons het ook na toe ons deur COVID is, bietjie gegroei nasionaal. Dus ons redelik al klomp kafees oor die land en ons het ook te begin roast. So ons fabriek, ons bak self. Soms het redelik diep in die industrie ingespring en het al die besigheid al lekker gegroei.
Yes, dit is great. Ek dink wat so lekker is Pleito is relatief nie op die mark, maar dadelik het dit oral Pleitos opgespring en daar is nie 'n koffiedrinker wat nie van Pleito hou nie, né? Of dit hulle gunsteling is, dit seker the jury's out, maar daar's nie 'n ou wat nie daarvan hou nie. Wat great is, dit is so 'n bietjie praat, so graag bietjie wil hoor, sommer net julle aanslag besigheidsgewys. Koffie, besigheid, waar mense daai goeders doen. Ek kom nou terug na jou toe, Caleb.
Okay, well, I have a question. I'm kind of piecing together what he's talking about, but I'm going to ask a different question just to break the ice a little bit more. Obviously, a lot of you know each other, but a silly question I was thinking of just to kind of get the conversation started in a more lighthearted way. When you're in the mood for coffee, but you're not allowed to go to your own coffee shop, who do you go to?
My Oma.
Asking the real questions now.
Because also, sorry, I want to state one thing as well.
Starbucks.
You guys, wow.
Nee, hy gaan vir 'n Coke float by Spur saam met sy girl.
But also, something that the viewers wouldn't have seen, when everybody was arriving, they brought their own coffee kits. Like we have a toolbox over there just full of, so you guys don't really, you have your way of making coffee and you don't trust other people to make coffee as good as you.
100%.
We kind of have the joke in our office, like, if we can't get a Plato, we call it a hot bev. We don't call it coffee. It's like normally.
Get yourself a hot bev.
Some, you're there at Dulstrom, you're like, yeah, I want the coffee, but I'm just going to go get a hot bev at that brand. No, I personally like, I think a lot of coffee professionals, if you're in the trade and you've been in the trade for quite a long time, you almost go back to basics. Like most of our guys that's been in the industry for 10, 15 years, if you ask them how does their coffee setup look at home, it's not like a 100K espresso machine, it's a 30 Rand V60 and a kettle. Like we almost go back to the basic methods of making coffee. And if I can't go to Plato, I'd rather just pull out my little kit and make a small pour over.
We drink
To be
Robles
honest.
tea.
Like it's like in a backpack or, I haven't drank a coffee from a different company or that I've made myself in such a long time. It's weird, but I just haven't.
Yeah, that's a good answer, man. Such a good one. So,
But you're the only one with multiple coffee shops. So, I mean, you could technically bean juice.
But I have to say, I really, if I have to have a choice, I go to Grounded at Echo.
Yes, boy.
we're just going to give Plato credit here at the bottom for that. Yeah, I think, I don't know if you guys remembered when you go on holiday down to the Kus or wherever, then you're like, yes, you can't wait for your Wimpy coffee. Oh. You remember that? I was like that. I just remember the milk coffee. That's what we used to call it. It was actually a cappuccino.
Yes.
But we said the milk coffee, you know? And it's funny now because it's not as if they, and I'm not comparing or anything, it's not as if companies like that have got worse. It's just everything has got better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now you're like, the competition is quite hectic. But obviously, I love to support local brands. So whether it's our own shops or just only our own shop, no, I'm joking. It's our own shops, or I would definitely go. I love Plato's. That flirty thing that you guys do is lekker. And but I also love Seattle. I think theirs is really nice. The reason why I would go to a local brand is for that reason. So I'd support someone local because I like it if local businesses do well.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of supporting. Let me just maybe stop there. Yeah.
You're such a good person, Jason.
Yeah. So if you're going to support an international franchise, then
Don't do it.
yeah, I'm like, just go support the local economy.
Hulle praat nie jou taal nie, ek koop hier al koffie nie.
Yes, they don't even greet me at the door. At least in my company, they greet me, So yeah, I think that's the thing. There is a competition, obviously, like in any industry, but it kind of feels at the moment like it's one big family and we're trying to do something together. That's how I feel about it. So, but if I'm not drinking my own, I'm going to a Plato or I don't know, Seattle local. I don't know if they are local.
Well, they didn't start local, but it is a local.
But it's a local.
Yeah, it's
so
a
that's
local guy that grew
Yes
it.
and no.
yeah,
Yes
sure.
and no.
So that's my
Didn't start, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very cool that you say that because the coffee industry in all is very small in South Africa.
Yeah.
So you kind of like you go to if I'm in Cape Town, we really go to all the guys we know in the industry, and we just like have a coffee with them. So although we mostly like you get so used to your own brand, but when you go to places, the people. I know Jason. I know so many people in the coffee industry. It's such a small group. So we really try and kind of uplift each other and support each other. in that sense. We actually, so what I said is, yes, we do drink coffee at the office, but the coffee that we drink the most of in the office is we've got a Bluebird subscription. So we just drink pour overs, but it's most of their coffee. So as local guys, we've got that subscription running and we drink it like monthly.
Sure. Great. Sander, Chom, jy nie by jou eie koffiewinkel is nie? Waar dink jy?
Moet ek nou Engels praat?
Jy kan praat wat vir jou gemaklik is.
Ek dink ek is weer 'n bietjie op die ander kant waar julle twee is. Ek like dit weer om almal so goed te gaan try. Kyk wat daar buite is, wat se tipe koffies jy ons mee speel. Wat hulle doen aan die agterkant van die masjien. Ek dink ek skeep my eie koffie bietjie af. Behalwe nou vir by die huis in die oggende vir die vrou en kids. So ja, ek like dit om te gaan try. Om ons goed te probeer, kyk waarmee is hulle nou besig, hoe roast die ouens, wat se resepes hulle mee speel. Een wat ek baie van hou en actually vanoggend by was gou na kerk was Sorcery by Diep in die Berg. Alicia doen fenomenale goed.
En hulle was ook in die moed gewees op 'n stadium.
Ja, sy het nog steeds 'n shop. Ek sal sê dis die moed, net aan die kant. Hatfield se kant, ja.
Sal nie weer na Hatfield right?
Ja, daar by oorkant Tuks sportgronde. Ja, ek sê kan nie areas naam nou nie, maar close enough.
Ja. Ek weet hulle het was 'n Dormerstraat, maar sy het so in 'n huis het hulle 'n huis oorgedoen, koffiewinkel gehad, heavy cool self geroast.
Dit lyk nou weer soos daai. Dis weer 'n huis, soos die OG setup weer in die gang.
Okay, lekker.
Ja.
So can I quickly share a funny story? Yes. Or maybe it's, I don't know if it's funny.
But you have to share it in
None
the
of us
mic.
laugh. That will be funny.
So I don't know if you've had it or you, but I would be like, I can't do work at my own shop because I like people. So I want to talk to you the whole time. So I'll go sit at another coffee shop and then a client will be there that also drinks coffee at our shop and they take a photo of me sitting and working and then they send it to me and they're like, have you had that before? I'm the only one.
Bean juice is endorsing like, so and so.
Why are you buying coffee from this?
But when I see Jay's at my store, I'm like, hey buddy.
But at least I go and visit you, eh? Yeah. It's fine.
So sê my gou 'n bietjie as julle ek hou van daai vraag waar drink 'n mens koffie? Sommer in kort, ek weet daar's 'n deel van hierdie wat verskriklik baie te doen het met besigheid en is nie noodwendig op die koffie self nie. Maar as jy 'n koffie bestel, wat bestel jy? Nee? Cappuccino, macchiato, pour over, as jy koffie bestel?
Flat white.
Flat white. Hoekom?
Die ouens wat dit regmaak, as jy flat white is bietjie sterker as 'n cappuccino, is eintlik soos 'n dubbel. So Seattle het dit begin of in Suid-Afrika of dit in Australië begin die flat white en dit Seattle het begin reg doen, semi in Suid-Afrika. Dis al 'n dubbel latte. Ja. Which is hy's bietjie sterker, hy's meer bold. En wat ons toe gedoen het met die flat white, ons het sy resep nog bietjie kon verander, so jy kry soos daai full body, full flavor. Net genoeg melk, maar geen bitterness na die tyd, né? Ja. So dis half net al die flavor van die koffie, but not too milky. Ook nie te sterk nie. Cortado vir my persoonlik is nou weer bietjie te sterk. So daai flat white is net daai perfect balance of flavor, milk. Ja. En texture, soos die milk texture van 'n flat white is ook spesifiek.
Mike, wat hulle noem dit microfoam versus lekker.
Sure, that's a big word.
Ja, that is a big word.
I just googled it. I had to throw, ek moes dit ergens ingooi net.
Hy het flat white gehoor, hy sê hoe maak mens 'n flat white?
I used to be a flat. Yeah.
Okay.
Fat white.
Yeah.
Okay.
So are we going down the line or? So next
sure.
question?
Die mic
I don't mind. Yeah, I like Americano, also double shot, and with a little bit of cream. It's for me nice. I can taste the bean or the quality there. But I think it's what you feel like on the day or what you want. I think for me personally, a cortado is, I love it. It's good because I think after so many years of drinking, like I want to taste what the what the bean tastes like.
Yeah.
But I think personally, I'm not that critical on coffee as much as I should be. I like the business side of it again, and maybe other aspects of this. But if I had to, Americano or cortado.
Yeah. Lekker, Sander.
Ek gaan nou 'n spanner in die wiele gooi.
Chai latte.
Ja, dis nie sonde nie.
At least that.
Dirty chai.
So ons is heeldag besig. Ek dink soos julle ook maar Petrus wat jy ons het soveel verskillende koffies by die shop en goed en daar's so baie dat dis bitter min dat ek 'n koffie drink. Soos my koppie polish dit so ons sal baie koffies proe hierdie dag meestal in 'n pour over maar ek moet die oggend begin met 'n ou stoute melkie vir my en my vrou van daar af is dit maar swart of 'n Aeropress of 'n V60
Ja, soos my dae is altyd soos ons het 'n restaurant by my huis. Kry sien toe kry 'n flat white ry werk toe, maak 'n pour over daar. En dan drink ons swart koffie vir die res van die dag. Want is te veel melk, jy kan net nie maar, I don't know, soos die oggende moet begin met soos 'n smooth, warm, milky bev.
Yeah. Because like you don't want to be the guys that have like, you know, car mechanics' car's always broken. You know what I mean? Like you want to have nice coffee at home as well.
Soos die dokter se kind is altyd siek en die pastoor se kind is altyd besig om iets af te brand. Okay, ja.
Maar ek dink ons almal se probleem is soos toe ons net koffie ek begin en toe het ek soos 8, 9 koppies 'n dag gedrink. En dan eventually is dit soos okay, jy kan nie so aanhou nie. Om met jou of net 'n roetine kry van hoor jy wat hou jy van? Soos wat maak jou dag? En dan soos wat kan jy 'n bietjie sustain in 'n sin?
Yeah. Making like a decision.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
beginning, you just
gooi.
You gooi.
Espresso.
I was like that with my iced coffees, and then after a while, I'm like, yo,
stel jy 3 kilos op.
exactly.
so everyone has sugar in
Yeah. So it's like a conscious decision now of like, how much do I weigh?
Good question. Caleb, tell us a little bit like are you a coffee drinker?
I love coffee, but ironically, the reason I started drinking coffee, I used to hate it. I couldn't stand it. The reason I started enjoying coffee was because it was the only time I was allowed to take a break from work. And so I was working.
That's why people smoke.
Yeah.
It's like because
I don't
the smokers
smoke.
get a break. The smokers get a break.
So I calculated it. I was like, if I walk not to the coffee station on my floor, but if I walk 3 stories down to the coffee machine there, it was also slower. So I could give myself a 10-minute break making coffee. And then I just carried the coffee cup upstairs and it would kind of just sit on my desk for the longest time. And I'd take a sip. I don't like it. And then over time, I guess it just wore me down. And then I think it was only last year where I realized I was like, oh, damn, this is a good cup of coffee. Wait, who am I? When did that happen?
Hey, coffee does that, eh?
Coffee is like a legal drug, you know. So
Yeah, it's
you
like a legal stimulant that you that
eventually
you just,
your body wants it because
No, I think needing is a good one because I realized I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a break just for a week or so, and I didn't realize how hard those withdrawals come if you've been drinking for a while. I felt like I got hit by a bus the next day.
that's why we bring a lot of coffee from Colombia. And it's like
Yes. So we actually the drug lords of the Moat.
whoa, that's why you have caps, eh?
Well, talking about drug lords, I'm trying. I don't know how I'm going to make this connection work.
yeah, just go for it.
But you were talking about community at the start of the episode. And that actually resonated with me quite a bit because I realized even this morning, just before church, I was sitting right there, just having a coffee with some friends. And all of you are actually in the industry where you enable people to participate in community. You enable people to be sociable with one another in unique ways. You create an environment at a coffee shop that isn't really present anywhere else. And so you serve your community in that way. And you seem to really enjoy that aspect of the job. So how do you guys feel in regards to the service that takes place, in regards to serving the community and creating environments where people feel that they can take part in fellowship and activities like that?
Oh, that's a good question.
Very good. I think you've got to, I think business has changed a lot over the last, I would say 10 or 20 years, where it's become a lot more reciprocal. So it's always been a part of what I've done is I did business, but not for the aspect of money. And obviously you need to trade and make money because there's bills to pay and all that. But if you're only doing it for that, you're going to do it for a year or two and then you're going to want to tap out, especially in this industry. Yeah, exactly. There's just so many factors that are not about the money. That if you're not caring about the community or the people you serve or the quality of the product, you're going to get drained. Yeah. And I think it's something that Petrus actually said a while back when he said, I don't know where I read it, but it was something about people have a limited budget and they're spending it on your coffee. And that's actually an honor, So they're coming into your shop, they're spending their money there, and that to give them a quality product is everything. So a coffee shop for me isn't just a place where you get a full tummy, but it's actually a place where you meet other people, there's connections made, you spend that special moment. So many people have told us, we got engaged and then we come to have a coffee at your shop, or now we're having our baby, and we so there's so many sentimental things around community. But you can easily, and I would say you could fake it as well if it's not authentic. The authentic thing is really important for me, and that's, I think, from top down, wherever you are. If your leadership is like that, it will carry through. The people in your community will feel that. And we've got something that I've said to our staff. Every day we can give 2 drinks away, and if they feel it's this person, they can do it. So there's no reason. It's just that's the heart behind it. And it's also not to get any cool points. We don't want like a badge or anything. It's just some people go through tough times, and then you so there's small things like that for me are more important than actually making money. But it is important to run your organization with good profits. And I do think that's where like Plates and the guys are doing amazing. Like that business model is amazing. So yeah, I think I've said enough.
Yeah, that's lekker. Maybe we can have a conversation about the business side now. I want to hear from you guys as well. But first, you guys give comment on Caleb's question about the community, which Jay was answering. Sê 'n bietjie gemeenskap, wat hoor julle?
Yeah, so I think, I don't know who of you guys know how we started, but our first cafe was in a cemetery in Irene, and in a very old container. And it was December before COVID, right? So it was chaotic. And our business was actually structured around, or the initial business was structured around corporate office parks and universities. Every time I go after you, I go English. But anyways, I'm answering your question, so I'm going to go in English. Yeah. And so COVID came, right? And it changed a lot of things for a lot of people. But after COVID, what we quickly realized is like everyone went back to communities. Everyone pulled together. They helped each other out. And like this business or the coffee industry, or actually just the entire, the food industry is very draining if you don't do it for people. And we've always done it for people first and then for money afterwards. And we saw like this kind of product, like just pulled the entire Irene community together, and we said there's something that we kind of felt like this product can do in a bunch of places. And then we said, okay, I don't know if you know our slogan, but it's coffee sculpted, community included. So we actually, after that COVID stretch, we changed our slogan to intelligent coffee to this community thing. And then we started tackling communities. And that's our entire business is built around communities. We serve communities. Our franchisees are community-based people. That mostly part of church. We've got like 5 pastors that owns coffee shops, and so the community thing has gone like far further than we actually ever thought it would be. So I don't know if I answered your question, but like community is at the center of our company, and I think it's helped us a lot.
I think we speak from the same mouth. People are everything. Without people, your product won't move. Without people, the money doesn't move around. So at the end of the day, that is the big factor that makes or breaks a business at the end of the day. And for us as well, I would say that the coffee is even a byproduct of the whole experience that we want to create for people. And to, like you said, Petrus, is to serve the people first, and to be there for them, and then some good coffee as well. It's really the heart of, I would say, the whole coffee community, like you mentioned earlier. It's like this band of brothers, everyone hurtling together and fighting whoever the dark, gross, bad guys are. Ja, no,
5 rose.
Well, if the coffee's bad, 5 roses goes a long way. But yeah, no, I agree with you guys. It's all about people. That's why we are here. And to build a business for yourself is not the way to go, I feel. And you both mentioned it. We're here for people, to enrich people's lives and to take their little bit of savings in for coffee and to make their day so much better because of something that might be so insignificant for us, because we deal with how many tons of coffee on a yearly basis, but that one cup changes a person's day or year around completely. And that's what it's about, for a person to be able to come into the store and rejoice about something, or to come and be able to cry about something. That's why we do what we do, is for the people.
Yes, dis great hoor. Ek dink as ons so praat van gemeenskap en so ek amper wat ek hoor julle sê is dat as geld jou nommer 1 ding was waardeur jy jou hele lewe geleef het, as geld jou nommer 1 lens was, dan was jy nie in die koffiebesigheid nie. Né? Right. Julle is almal besigheidsmanne, jy weet geld maak jy nie
My ma het altyd gesê as 'n probleem gefiks kan word deur geld, is nie 'n regte probleem nie.
How's it?
Dankie Tade. Are we going on slogans?
Jy moet nou iets sê.
I've got one, it's nice. Okay. It says wait, I must remember it now. Some people are so poor, all they have is money.
Damn, that's one of those ones you want to...
No, but can I quickly just chip in with this whole coffee thing? And it was also when we had just started our shop in 2018. We quickly realized that, okay, well, coffee is the second highest commodity in the world. So if you wanted to change the economy in a place, there's really a massive scope in what we're doing to have an impact. And that's why, for me, it excites me to see so many local brands pop up. And then I'm like, hey, because the economy needs to run on money. But if we could channel it into the right stuff, it can be really powerful. So, yes, there's a lot of effort in this, but there is a lot of capital moving in this. You know what I mean? So it just needs to get into the right hands, I believe. Ja.
Ek wil vir julle 'n storie vertel. Ek het so 'n paar jaar terug, het ek en vriende, ons is by die kerk gewees en ons het besluit, hoorie, hier's baie mense wat kerk toe gaan en ons drink almal by die kerk hierdie koffie, maar kom ons kry vir ons 'n masjien en ons begin koffie verkoop by die kerk. Ons gaan baie ryk word, gaan great wees. En op 'n stadium toe koop ons nou 'n masjien. Ons het letterlik gery uit Nigel uit na ou se plaas toe, kom maar by sy plaas aan, jy weet, klim uit die kar uit, jy weet, hy het sulke honde wat jou so wil hap, en ons sê, hallo oom, okay, hoor jy het 'n koffiemasjien wat ons kan koop, en hy vat ons agter na sy skuur toe, en hy het letterlik, dit is soos 'n fliek, hy het letterlik so 'n groot seil afgeruk van 'n koffiemasjien af, 'n Grimac koffiemasjien, maar jy weet, soos mint condition, great, hy lyk mooi. En hy het net daar staan ons en ons sê, okay, ja, dis awesome, ons gaan hierdie ding koop, maar vir soos cheap, ek weet nie, vir soos R4,000 of 5,000, wat ek al, baie cheap. Maar ons moet hom nou maak werk, en ons staan daar en die masjien, soos wat dit nou maar gebeur in 'n ou se werkswinkel, as hy die prop afgesny, want hy die prop seker vir iets anders gebruik, ek weet nie. En so die masjien het nie 'n prop nie, en ons stry hom nog R1,000 af, ons sê nee, okay, ons sal die masjien vat, net so, ons gaan hom nie toets nie, ons gaan hom vat huis toe. Lank en kort, ons kry die masjien, ons het so 'n baie nice grinder gekry, en ons het vir ons 'n tafel gebou, met sulke wiele, en ons gaan hierdie ding nou by die kerk hê, en ons het dit daar gebruik, trolley om so half in staan, lekker masjien, maak koffie, en great gewees, maar jy verkoop omtrent net wat 30, 40 koppies koffie, op die beste aand 100, miskien 150, glad nie die moeite werd nie. Besluit toe, kom ons uit, ek is 'n baie slegte besigheidsman, ek is net, okay, besluit toe, alright, ons gaan die koffie verkoop by 'n mark. Daar was hierdie massive mark in Centurion, hulle het groot bemarking, hulle het vir ons gesê, dis 'n nuwe mark, daar was nog nooit 'n mark daar gewees nie, kom ons gaan na hierdie mark toe, ons is een van die enigste koffiestasies, die enigste ander koffiestasie, is die tannie hulle langs ons, wat op 'n tafel, het hulle, dan nou, jy het Frisco, wat jy nou kan ingooi, en het is soos
O, so hulle verkoop tee.
ja, hot beverage. en so, ons staan, en ons kom vroeg daaraan, hoorie, maar ons het 'n trailer, ons het ook nie 'n yskas nie, ons het niks nie, ons het net ons goed. Trailer is in die winter, binne in die trailer het ons hierdie spar melkies, hierdie melkies wat veronderstel is om te hou vir ewig as jy hom vries. En ons het die melk in die trailer gepak en ons gaan nou 'n killing maak. Trailer staan daar vroeg die oggend en niemand daag op nie. En niemand daag op nie, en niemand daag op nie. En ergens op 'n stadium, hier sit ons, all of the vendors are looking across and seeing each other, en ons almal so, jy weet so, what's happening? Ja, kom jy, ek sal by jou koop. Wat het jy? Beboetie. Ek is reg, so jy weet. En ons gaan besluit toe ons gaan alright, iemand moet gaan praat met die organizer. Ons loop, ons gaan soek. Die ding het nou al begin en hier's nog nie 'n voet hier binne gewees nie. Hoe lank en kort is. Ergens het iemand opgeslip en nooit hierdie ding bemark nie. So niemand weet daar is 'n mark hierso behalwe ons. Die klomp vending schmucks wat opdaag met al ons goed. En die probleem is, toe gaan al ons melk af. Al ons melk, ek weet nie hoeveel liter, maar soos jy weet seker 100 liter of wat ook al, maar dis al ons melk. Al ons melk gaan af. Al ons goed gaan af. Die enigste mense wat by ons gekoop het is die tant Sunny of wat ook al en sy
Van die Beboetie stalletjie.
En daai ding, vriende, het vir my gebreek. Ek het die volgende dag, toe verkoop ek my, toe sê ek, manne, ons gaan alles verkoop en ons geldjies opdeel in 4 en ons het elkeen R1000 gemaak. Dit was 'n great besigheidsidee. En van daai dag af was ek het scarred. Nee, want ons het nou deur alles gegaan. Ons het barista training gehad, ons het alles, ons gaan dit maak. Is daar besigheid wat koffie aanbetref? You answered it halfway by saying that there's a commodity in the world, maar is al besigheid te maak? Kan 'n mens geld maak met koffie in Suid-Afrika?
Ja,
That was a great answer.
nee, so dit besigheid oor die algemeen is nie maklik nie. Maar die koffiemat besigheid of koffiebedryf, dis waar dieselfde. Dis eintlik een van die moeilikste industrie om dit in te maak. 80% van alle start-ups in koffie vou na jaar 1 en van die ander 20% wat oorbly vou in die volgende 3 jaar nog, ek dink nog soos 60% of so iets. So dis 'n baie moeilike resep om reg te kry. Dis nie net jy het 'n stalletjie en jy verkoop koffie nie. Dus jy moet al either great location hê, maar daar's baie dele van 'n koffiemaatskappy wat hom actually maak werk. So ons het, soos ek eintlik maar vroeër genoem het, ons is besigheidmense eerste en koffiemense tweede gewees toe ons begin het. So ons het regtig gaan kyk na wat is die grootste maatskappye in die wêreld wat koffie aanbetref, want ons het gesê okay, ons wil eendag die grootste besigheid wees in Suid-Afrika en dit grootste besigheid in Afrika en ons wil graag internasionaal ook gaan. En so ons het gaan kyk na Starbucks, McDonald's, KFC, die ouens wat dit reg gemaak het. En dan die grootste ouens in ons land wat Seattle, Virai, Woolworths Cafe was. En ons het reg na hulle besigheidmodel gaan kyk en gekyk soos hoe kan ons nie net nog 'n company wees wat oopmaak en na 3 jaar eintlik maar fail, die koffiemasjien verkoop en aangaan is. Ons het regtig die besigheid van koffie gaan ontleed en toe gegaan en kyk gaan ons hierdie ding bou as 'n actual company met klomp employees en half inslot in die groter supply chain. So ja, daar moes ons klomp goed leer en doen en toe wat ons so eintlik half regtig half besigheid of kapitaalgewys regtig begin groei het, was om nog dieper in die supply chain te gaan. So ons besit 'n bakkery en dit supply aan al die pleites. Ons besit 'n fabriek wat roast en ons supply aan al die pleites. Ons doen ons eie hot chocolate, ons eie chai, ons eie white chocolate, ons brand elke liewe ding, koppie, suiker, servette. En daar nou het jy quantities en dis daai quantities of scale. So nou het jy klomp winkels wat jy aan kan verskaf. Nou begin ons groen koffie invoer. So nou begin jy soos 'n groot koffie chain eintlik bou. Alhoewel jou model as 'n franchise geld maak en dit genereer geld vir franchisees, is ons eintlik nou 'n franchisor en ons probeer die supply chain eintlik maar besit. En dis waar die groot geld in koffie lê, maar dis ook waar die groot groei lê. En dis ook waar die groot werkskepping geleentheid lê. Vir ons het ek gesê, okay, ek en my broer of ek en my twee broers, ons elkeen kan 5 of 6 kafees hê en hulle kan baie suksesvol wees en ons kan ons geldjies maak, right? Ons het gesê, hoe kan ons hierdie ding vat en soveel as moontlik mense voor werk gee? En ons employ ons sit en baie mense nou oor ons groep. Ons het 85 winkels. Ek dink ons oor die 75 franchisees en dis almal gesinne wat besighede besit, wat mense employ, wat almal geld maak. Wat lekker is van daai model ook is as 'n franchisor, jy gee eintlik vir 'n franchisee al die shortcuts om besigheid te maak werk, right? Hy hoef nie self te leer wat se resep werk nie. Hy hoef nie self te leer van hoe doen ek besigheid nie. Ons het gegaan en gesê, okay, hier is jou blueprint. Hier is wat jy doen. Hier is wat jy moet doen om geld te maak. Hier is jou GP's, ons doen al die discount fighting, ons doen al die agterkant van die besigheid. Ons sê jy half uit in die wêreld en jy kan geld maak. So dis ons kant, dis hoe ons eintlik maar besigheid benader het. En ja, hy werk lekker vir ons. Nou.
Ja, dis eintlik 'n insig wat mense altyd sien by koffie nie. Wat sê julle? Besigheid, koffie?
Yeah, I think their model is amazing. Their scaling is incredible as well, and I think there's different. I'm thinking about your story now because when you asked, you guys also had a passion to start something, and then it was maybe circumstances that weren't maybe right at that time.
Or even like just tenacity, because it was like two things that happened, and we were like, okay, no, listen.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's I think the question is, you can do well in any business. You've got to specifically decide what business you want to be in. How long is this something that you're going to do over 10 or 20 years? Because if it's not, then rather don't. Go into something that you're really passionate about. And so if I can think of like what Zander does, he's specialty coffee, and obviously Plato as well is, but they're scaling at a larger scale. Both of those are equally important to the growth of coffee. And so for me, I mean, I've had so many times where it's just been like up and down and up and down and up and down. And that bike needs to come in for a coffee break.
Yes, it is the moed. I mean, you can't
They were worrying, now they know. So for one of the biggest learning curves that I went through, I'll just share, is I found out what the CCMA was. That was quite a hectic.
Hello.
I never knew what the CCMA was, and then I found out. So we had an incident happen in our shop, let me just put it that way, and I had to deal with it, and I dealt with it totally incorrectly because I didn't know, it's like the guy drives over the stop street, and then the traffic cop's like, I didn't see you, sorry. So I had those, that was 150,000 Rand. Sure. And so when you make mistakes like that, and then I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think business as a whole, you need to be dedicated to what you want to do, a cause, and that can be whatever it is. And I think each of us in our individual ways of doing it, I've got I own all of the companies that I do, and so I could partner with guys, but I felt that's not what I want to do, and I'm sticking to that, and I'm happy with that. And I've seen great fruits in that, and I could probably scale in a different way, but I don't know if I'm built for that. Yeah. So it's just being real with yourself as well, and I guess the decisions you guys made, like, no, that's not, but you found something, your path, and
lekker.
Cool. If that makes sense.
Does. Zander, vir jou besigheidskant van koffie?
Ja, ek dink ons het redelik aan alles gevat. Op die einde van die dag is dit 'n numbers game. Of jy nou equipment verkoop, of jy nou dirty chai en goed verkoop, of jy nou pakkies koffie of koppies verkoop. Dis 'n numbers game, en hoe meer jy doen, hoe groter lê jou wins as jou structure op die einde van die dag in plek is. En soos jy ook genoem het, jy moet kies waarop jy wil fokus. En dan moet jy maar bereid wees om jy effort in te sit en jare vas te byt in sommige gevalle om dit 'n sukses te maak. Soos enige besigheid, soos jy genoem het, Peter, dis harde werk. En die koffie is nie maklik nie. Om met mense te werk is nie maklik nie. Maar dit is maar wat jy daarmee doen.
Ja, net om beide sê, soos ons maatskappy ek gaan nie nommers sit nie, maar ons het as julle weet hoe vinnig ons gegroei het, moet julle weet, is 'n massive kapitale uitleg. Ons het vir die eerste 4 jaar nie 'n sent wins gewys nie. Ons het groot losses gewys. En die seasonale in. En so dit is ook soos ons was soos okay, ons gaan hierdie ding gaan en soos enige besigheid omvat en sê okay, ons gaan omgroei tot op 'n punt, okay, hierdie is ons break-even, maar ons weet ons gaan 'n laaswys jaar 1, ons gaan weet ons gaan 'n laaswys jaar 2, maar ons wil scale en scale en scale. So dit is eintlik cool toe hulle nou praat, so ek sê okay, ons sit in 'n franchisor company en ons het hierdie company gebou as 'n global company in uitsig, right? Hier sit jy met 'n soos basically 'n corporate eienaar en ons sit jy met 'n specialty roastery eienaar.
Dis ekspasie.
Ja, dis is
Dit is fantasties.
So dis en elkeen speel eintlik 'n ander game. Soos die manier van dink, die manier van doen. As ek vat Vader Koffie is een van die coolste, beste koffie companies in ons land, maar net een kafee.
Ja, die in Rosebank, né?
Ja.
In Kramerwil.
Twee kafees. So Kramerwil is eintlik maar soos hulle groot en daar staan. Maar soos wat hulle doen in die industrie is incredible, maar hulle soos hierdie is ons een shop. Ons maak ons geld hier, ons druk alles in hierdie stukkie in. Waar ons het 'n ander uitsig en Jace het 'n ander uitsig. So om koffie te doen kan jy soos jy kan eintlik maar besluit wat jy wil doen. Want ons soveel industrieë in sy eie industrie. So ja, ons maar tenacity is ons van ons winkels nou draai in 'n dag wat ons in maand 1 gedraai het.
Sure.
Soos we try to make money. I didn't get a salary for a year and a half.
Ja.
Dit was tough.
Crazy story there.
Maar ons het gesê ons glo in hierdie model, ons glo in hierdie besigheid en ons glo in wat ons doen en ons glo ook in ons capability om dit te doen.
Ja.
So ons het net altyd gesê ons stiek by wat ons doen, ons glo in wat ons doen. En ja, gelukkig, dit kan ook aan die ander kant gaan, right? Ek dink ons baie mense wat glo in hulle besighede en ons baie mense wat glo nee, ek sal dit maak. Maar vir ons het dit na ook 3-4 besighede wat gevou het ons klomp lesse geleer en eventually deur dit gekom.
Ja. That's true.
Ja, dankie dat jy dit share. Ek vat hierdie week was al 2 jong studente by my. Nee, hulle wil koffie begin en hierdie groot drome, ek sê kyk, great. Ek back julle 100%, maar kom ons kyk na wat vir julle voorlê. Based on wat ek geleer het, wat ek van ander geleer het, dat hulle nie dieselfde foute maak nie. So dit is goed dat mense dit moet hoor, dink ek. Soos ons voor ons begin het genoem het, dit lyk altyd sonskyn en rose om 'n koffie in te gaan en heeldag free koffie te kry en dit is nie.
So what we're actually saying is no one else should enter the coffee market.
Ja, just saying.
We've got this. My first sale, I used to buy and sell coffee from Beaver Creek, and the owner that side, I would phone him and I said, Rob, I've got like 20 companies that want coffee. I need like the best price and I need like 100 kilos now. No problem, sends it over. I don't have any clients.
That's it.
So I'm going from door to door, and I had 5 kilos in my backpack and I used to drive a scooter. Remember that red one that I had? Yeah, it was beautiful. And then I stopped at the one shop also in Montana side and I sold 5 kilos to the guy and he gave me cash and he was like, I need a receipt. And I'm like, what's that? I need to prove that, that you, and I'm like, oh, it's in my car. I didn't have a car. So I ran to Pick and Pay and I bought a book. No jokes. I bought a receipt book and I wrote 0001. And I gave it to him and he's like, you've never done this before. And I'm like, I've never done this before. And I think people like the authenticity as well. So you don't always have to have all the answers, but it's true. We've learned our school geld. I think one of the guys that helped me a lot was Aroma Rail. I also went in with this bright eyes, young, and I'm like, I want to do this. And he's like, sure, no problem. And that was so cool for me that another business owner was like open. And I find that in our industry, yes, I love our industry. It's as hard as it is. I don't want to be in any other industry. I love it. So there is a lot of tough times, but to walk into a shop, grab a coffee, chat to people, it's not always that idyllic, but man, I love it.
Ek sou graag wil hoor so in terme van Zander, jy het so 'n bietjie ander kant wat jy hom tref mee, hy's 'n bietjie 'n koffiepurist. Toe ek in jy gekuier het jy gesê, you nerd out on coffee. Dan is 'n bietjie daarvan. Ek bedoel, jy roast ook self, jy maak ook jou eie goeters, jy gooi 'n pour over elke nou en dan. Wat is die goed wat as jy dink nerd out bietjie met ons, hè? Kom vertel ons 'n bietjie van koffie besigheidlose koffie genot.
Ek dink langs die rekord ek's regtig vol stront.
Fair
En ek
enough.
sê vol stront omdat ek nie ander woorde wil gebruik nie of moet gebruik nie. Ja, ek dink vir my is dit daar's 'n groter storie agter net koffie. Ek dink ons het almal groot geword met Wimpy koffie op pad Mossel Bay toe en koffie is net koffie. En tot 'n mens eendag by 'n Vader koffie instap en die dude sê vir hoor jy dit proe soos strawberry is en marshmallows en jy soos nee my ou, dit kan nie wees nie, dis net koffie. En ek dink daar het ons almal daai experience al gehad en besef daar's meer tot net 'n koppie wat jy het. En van daar af dit was actually by Vader wat my soos revelation gekom het van koffie. En daar het die rabbit hole ook begin waar ons besluit om self te begin roast en ook die groter storie van koffie te vertel, om dit terug te trek na die boer toe, om die challenges te kan oorvertel en te sê hoorie, jy betaal dalk vir jou R50 vir jou koffie, maar dit is hoeveel arbeid in dit ingegaan het. Dit is die hele side of things wat mense nie sien nie. En om selfs op die plaas al te geëksperimenteer het en saam met boere te werk, besef jy soos vrek, die ouens werk baie hard vir ons om net 'n koppie koffie te kry. Maar wat koffie self aan betref, so ek sê ek hou daarvan om dit te kan terugtrek van waar af dit kom, die origin, hoe dit geroast is, 'n spesifieke recipe vir die koffie uit te werk, wat werk vir hom, wat werk nie. Ek bedoel om dit terug te vat na een koffie wat ek het, as jy 2 ml se water minder bygooi, proe dit soos battery acid. En dan 2 ml meer is dit soos hopes and dreams.
Daar's hy.
Dit is die verskil wat dit kan hê. Ek hou van daai kant van die goed. Om regtig bietjie te eksperimenteer en ja, rond te speel met die koffie. dit raak rond.
Have you drank battery?
Ja. Pynstripper.
Like it tastes like Starbucks, hè? Nee, maar ek kan nie presies die ure onthou nie, maar dit vat iets soos 300 man ure vir koffie om van geplant, geoes, verwerk in sakke tot in 'n kafee of roast kafee. Vat 300, kom ons sê 300 of 200 man ure om tot in 'n kafee te kom en dan kan dit 30 sekondes vat vir 'n barista om te maak of te breek. Soos mense verstaan nie hoeveel ure en ure en ure en ure mense actually insit in koffie nie. En dus ja, ek was verlede jaar Kenia toe en dan besef jy actually die hart van koffie, soos die mense op die plase en wat regtig groot geld verdien. Ja, daar is nog een kant van koffie wat regtig nogals agter is die plase veral in Afrika. En hoe erg hulle omgee oor hulle koffie op die plaas. Like, dit is massive en dan besef jy, okay, wat ek doen, soos die hele chain van die koffie-industrie is baie groter as net jy. En net op 'n ander punt van koffie, ek bedoel, soos koffie is eintlik soos wyn maak. Soos daar is resepte vir elke liewe koffie. Soos water in, water uit, time, soos jy kan nie 'n koffie hanteer as net soos 'n ja, gooi en meng ding gaan nie. So ek dink as mense begin Australië en Japan is al soos verder in die industrie in. Soos hulle noem dit first, second, third wave of coffee, now we're moving into the fourth wave of coffee. En in Suid-Afrika dink ek ons is nou nader as ooit tevore omdat die koffieprys so ongelooflik duur is dat mense kan actually specialty koffie introduce in cafés vir nie baie duurder as soos 'n commodity koffie nie. So ek dink ons land as 'n geheel kan nou regtig gaan en sê hier boys, kom ons spring op specialty koffie, kom ons leer mense van hierdie ongelooflike ander kant van koffie. Wat eintlik net gewoonlik bietjie duur is vir mense. So 'n batch brew of 'n pour over sal jou R45 kos, want daai koffie kos R800 'n kilo of R700 'n kilo, waar kommoditeit koffie R200 'n kilo kos. Maar daai barrier omdat die pryse nou so duur is, het nogals naby aan mekaar gekom. So wat ons gaan doen in ons groep is soos ons toets nou by 4 cafés batch brew. En ons gaan net gou gaan en kyk soos hoor kom ons toets net 'n bietjie die water met mense. Want koffie het vrek duur geword. Maar ja, koffie is baie special. Ons het ander dag koffie uit Amerika uitgebring wat dis spruce soos waterlemoen. Soos die processing al buite is so incredible. En die ouens wat dit verstaan en begin waardeer, daai pool raak al hoe groter. En die kommoditeit koffie wat mense voor lief is, raak ook al hoe meer soos groter en groter. So ja, is lekker om te sien.
We've obviously spoken about some very, very big ideas. We're talking about the whole world at the moment, but the heart of this podcast is De Moort. And I want to know
Moord is groot.
if we put De Moort, De Moort, the place where we all live. This is obviously where our heart is. And I want to know, just from a business owner's point of view, obviously we have it's very close to our hearts where we live. And how has setting up your businesses here with these people, with this community, how has that impacted how you've perceived business? Is De Moort potentially just like any other community, or have you noticed something that makes us unique?
Sure, that's a good question. I think so Grounded, the specific business was established about 10 years back, and I'm the third owner of it. So I've bought it over from previous owners. And I think even when I think back to, when it just opened, it was also like an artisan. Like you'd come here because you knew that they put time into the craft, whether it was the coffee or the food. And it still is that way. And I think the Moort is very community inclined. So we would have like upstairs, we've got a meeting room and there's a board up with different people's photos on there. And this guy's an engineer and this guy's a photographer or whatever. And it's a connection point of view. So I think in this community, in this area, you have to do business that link people together. If that makes sense. It should always be that way. But I find it specifically because I also stayed in the Moort for 4 years, and that's why my Afrikaans is so good.
Ja, kan wel. Praat nou Afrikaans?
Prachtig.
Prachtig.
When the R never escapes your
yes.
coral.
Yeah. So I was, and so, but if I even think of like where Zander and them spot is, we had a trailer as well in Waverley, and that it instantly just like flourishes because everyone tells everyone, and there's a sense of like anything is possible in the Moort. I don't know, I get that vibe. Just from the people that I speak to, there's an incredibly positive atmosphere here.
There's a coffee trailer, Die Moortlander. Die Moortlander. Not very far from where but anyway, they also there, anyway.
Yeah, and so obviously it's very, in the afternoons people take their dogs for a walk, they go for a run. And I love this community. I think if you are in the Moort, there's also so many different cute artisan shops to test out. And I think that comes from within the community. Like you have to make things work here. And so people in the Moort are very driven. They're very like perfectionistic, I would say, as well. Yep. And I don't know if that answers the question, but that's why Grounded is very sentimental to me. And I just want to quickly say, in the Moort. But the way that Grounded started actually was with a company called Echo House. And so Echo has development houses all over the country, and they take people off the street. And then it's people that have no sort of way, they don't know how to relate in society, they haven't been brought up, they haven't been taught, how to eat, how to just speak to people. And about 70% of our staff came through that process, where the lady that's managing our shop now was the lady that she started as a cleaner, So that's incredible, just to see that. And that's what makes Moort special to me.
Sure. Yeah, it's very personal. Like you have to be hands-on. And for me, what was nice, coming from Pretoria East, waar bietjie neus in die lug, it's just different. You have to be hands-on, and the people back you. If they find a liking in you, you have them for life. It's that kind of, and we love it. It's lucky in Moort. Yeah, we love it. Yeah. And I think just wanted to add to that, is like I think we get people to come to our shops, which means we have them for 2 minutes at least. So we have such a big impact that we can have on people's lives. And it is really to use that, I think, what is important. And to educate people in coffee as well, to help them in wherever we can with life things, bad, good, whatever the case is. That's why we create this environment for people to come in and sit down and just be. Yeah.
Ja, so ek is van Rustenburg oorspronklik. En ek sal so ja, as 12 jaar in Pretoria. Ek is nog meeste van my tyd by Menlo Park, toe ek so 3-4 jaar hier in Queenswood gebly. En dis baie interessant, soos die mense wat ek in Pretoria ontmoet, as ek net sê moed, dink ek soos die sout van die aarde tipe mense. En mense wat ek in Pretoria ontmoet is altyd soos Rustenburg boere, so ek is 'n bietjie sout van die aarde mense, maar dan mense wat ek hier ontmoet is altyd soos, dis of soort, né? Soos, dan ontmoet ek iemand as hulle soos net Pietersburg, as ek soos sout van die aarde mense, jy weet. Of soos, jy weet, Nelspruit, soos al die klein type communities.
Afrikaanse.
Ja, en as dit soos, hierdie ou moet, hy's 'n lekker, hy moet van Nelspruit wees, nee, hy's van die moed.
So. Hy's 'n moordenaar.
Soos moed is vir my soos half, dit gee vir my daai, ek wil amper sê klein dorpie gevoel, soos daai special community, dis al amper 'n klein dorpie in die groter stad. Ja. En ek dink dit sprei 'n bietjie oor Queenswood hierdie, ek weet nie heeltemal tot hoe ver strek die moed as jy sê die moed nie. Maar ja, ek dink die gemeenskap hier dis sout van die aarde mense.
Ja, ek sien dit nogals met al die klein goedjies wat aangaan in jou lewe, waar ek kan regtig, en ek weet dit klink belaglik, maar ek kan regtig 'n maand kan verbygaan en ek gaan nie uit die moed uit nie. Regtig, soos okay, maar ek moet bieg, ek is nie 'n mall ou nie, so ek gaan nie Menlyn toe nie, Menlyn is nie my vibe nie. Fietsry en so, ons kan daai kant toe gaan, Cowhouse, daai, jy weet, maar ons gaan gewoonlik maar meer noord, ons gaan gewoonlik maar meer daai kant, en ons kan regtig, alles is hierso, op maandag-aande Joel ons touch rugby in die moed, op dinsdag-aande, of woensdag-aande speel ons pikkel by Rittendale, jy weet, daar's net elke dag, as jy so, jou gemeenskap is hier, jy het nie nodig om uit te gaan, om te gaan soek vir iets nie. En ek dink dit spreek nogals net van daai, dis nie net, ek kan nie uitgaan nie, ek wil nie buite gaan nie daar wat ek het wat ek nodig het hierso. Ja, okay, dit skep so 'n bietjie 'n eng manier van die wêreld sien en mense moet pas op daarvoor, maar dit is definitief 'n mooi ding.
And you have like your own passport to get in, yeah.
Ja, jy moet op stamp. Jy kan net so we'll validate your parking, my bro.
Ja, die tolgate.
Ja,
by die
tolhek.
Yeah.
Ek was hier by die moed.
Yeah. Outside of, I heard the statistic, I think it's the safest area in the country per capita is the Moed.
I don't know.
There we go. No, I'll take it. Let's win. That's something I want.
Vat wat jy kry, John.
Because there's like the old army guys that like retired in this area. So
every straatgroepie has an army guy on that's ruling. Wel ja. Wie se kat is besig om te ja.
Moet ek kom skiet.
Ja, kan
Kies vir skieters en vra later.
Weet ek terwyl ons so die vliegtuig land, ek wonder sommer net in terme van, ek weet per toeval dat julle is nogals almal gelowig is, en hoeveel speel geloof in op hierdie ding. Nie koffie noodwendig, nie koffie is net, jy weet, koffie is nie goed of sleg of koffie is neutraal, maar ek dink sommer net, Zander, ek dink sommer aan jou, jou pa is 'n pastoor, Jom. Hoekom het jy nie 'n pastoor geword nie? Is jy weet soos honestly nou, hoekom dit wat jy doen en hoe is dit waar die Here inspel op dit? Ek so bang om die woord roeping of calling te gebruik. So kom ek gaan nie.
Sê my 'n bietjie wat van ek sal dan.
Ek gaan nie roeping sê nie, maar roeping.
Ja, nie roeping nie, maar calling. Okay. Ja, ek het groot geword in die bediening en eerstens daai experience, the good of it, the bad of it, en die hele spektrum tussenin. Vir my was dit was regtig 'n calling ding, as jy dit nie wil sê nie. Ek ervaar net van vroegs af, ek was daai vraag al baie gevra. Jou pa is in die bediening en jou pa change mense se lewens op 'n daily basis. Hoekom nie jy nie? Hoekom is jy en jou pa nie in dieselfde kerk nie? Soos ek is nie geroep om daar betrokke te wees nie. Ek het my huis al vir 13 jaar in die neus en die lig plek en ek love it. En dieselfde met koffie/besigheid. Ek voel ek weet ek is geroep om daar impak op mense te hê met die mundane everyday stuff. Soos ek nou genoem het of die ou wat instap en om daar te kan minister op 'n daily basis. Al is dit nie noodwendig om die ou tot salvation te kry nie, maar mens begin op 'n plek om verhouding te kan bou en eventually na die ou regtig toe te kan minister en saam met jou te kan bid en sy lewe om te draai. Ja, beantwoord dit jou vraag.
Ja, it's good. Lekker, thanks. Wat sê julle?
Do you want to go first?
I'll land the
plane.
airplane.
Nice.
I'll try my best.
I led Petrus to the Lord about 10 years.
Wat is dit nou cool storie?
We were in Vietnam.
It's not a lie. It's like, yeah, we were together. Ons is saam gedoop. Samuel.
But we weren't baptized.
Well, no, I was baptized in Meta.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people, I don't want to over spiritualize things, but a lot of people say, my work is my calling, but I think there is I was a worship leader and I was full-time at a church and I felt the Lord call me to the marketplace, I would say that. So there is an element of tent making and you can still do, and then you have the full-time ministry. I knew you're the full-time, you equip people like us, and so there's different roles, but I think I definitely see business as a ministry, as a calling, and because you get kingdom and you get empire, so you can build empire, control. It's about perfectionism, it's about numbers and figures. Kingdom, God's fruit is on it, and for me, I believe kingdom is the way that you build. And I think we were speaking about it actually earlier. I was at his shop, and just the way that you do your business on godly principles. Most of the people that I know that had businesses through COVID time made it through. Like there was like a safety in it, and so for me, this is really a huge, I would say, calling for me, because it's about using what we have to reach people and just uplifting their day and making it better. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I would go and preach to someone who's having a coffee brew. Like that's going to be awkward.
You're going to give them the free one because you book.
Yeah, with the Bible verse on it. Like, so no, but we are also called to establish kingdom through our businesses.
I've never actually heard that kingdom versus empire.
It's
I'm steal it and it's not mine.
So it's amazing. Someone said it yesterday where they made a list. Yeah, just can I have some credit there?
Jason TM.
Yeah, and my businesses there.
All of them.
All the business.
The grounded bean juices.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, please. If you feel led.
Are you going to mix them one day and say grounded at bean juice?
It's an ongoing debate between everyone in the company, and it's like bean grounded. I don't know. There's just too many people that have used that thing now.
Ground juice.
Ground juice. Sounds horrible.
That sounds like battery acid.
Sorry, I'm spoiling a good moment.
Without getting super spiritual, it is definitely, we're called to have kingdom reign, and we can establish businesses that can impact people.
Ja, ek kan 'n vinnige storie vertel van pleite. So as ek nou nie besigheid en kingdom of is maar een vir ons
gewees. Dis moeilik om te skei.
Mens kan dit gaan skei, soos jy sê, maar ons skei dit nie. Ons dink ons is net waar ons is as gevolg van genade. Ek het toe ons pleite begin het, ek was die jockey, ek moes basically die ding van die grond af kry. En ek het 'n semi-side hustle gehad wat ek aan die gang gehad het, maar begin 2019 ons gesê, okay, hierdie is die jaar, ons gaan die besigheid afskop en ons het 'n klein besigheidmodelletjie gebou en ons het klomp commercial earns gaan sien, soos universiteite, baie universiteite, Tuks, het ons tender ingesit, Wits het ons gegaan voor, ons het corporate office parke probeer inkom en Jy weet ek na my werk gelos, ek het soos 'n bietjie spaargeldjies, maar niks wil soos gebeur nie. Ons kom net nêrens in nie. En soos ek nou nog gesê het, eventually kry ons 'n stuk grond te lease by City of Tshwane in 'n langs 'n begrafplaas. En dit is soos R5,000 'n jaar basically en ons moet gras sny en ons moet die toilette skoon hou. Dit was soos die rental agreement basically. En ons maak daar die somer oop en toe kom COVID. En ja, ek glo 100% die Here het deure kom toemaak in 2019 sodat ons nie vas is in commercial leases en miljoene rande spandeer het aan shopfitting nie. En nadat dit eintlik ons besigheidsmodel kom verander na die gemeenskap ding toe ons het en baie godvreesende mans en vrouens in ons besigheid van besieders tot winkeleienaars. Ek het vroeër gesê ja, ek kan seker vinnig tel, maar ek dink ons 5 pastore wat multiple winkels besit. Ons het altyd gedink soos om kerkplant en koffiebesigheid saam te sit is 'n great manier om kerk te gaan plant en jy het 'n kerk en jy het 'n besigheid wat basically die jockey van die kerk eintlik half empower of ten minste 'n tipe cashflow gee. So 'n besigheid vir ons broers was nog altyd 'n mens toe 'n end, soos hoe kan ons kerk groei, hoe kan ons kerke plant? Ek dink ons al drie is geroep vir ministry, maar ons al drie is nie, of nie een van ons drie is soos geroep vir preaching, I guess, as ek het so kan sê. So alles wat ons doen, oral ons gaan, alles wat ons raak is om kingdom te bou. En die mense wat ons werk, glo ons is soos, ek hoop 99% is gered, maar ek weet baie van ons besieders, soos is worship leaders in kerke, hulle speel dromme in die kerk en ja, ons hart is regtig om soos 'n massive besigheid te bou van kingdom soldiers. So ek wil daai twee glad nie split nie. Dis soos dis een ding vir my.
I think just to chip in, like a few years back, maybe many years back, if you'd say, someone said they are Christian in their business, then you kind of, whoa, you don't have, but now it feels like there's really like these righteous principles that guys are running business by, and you feel comfortable if someone is a believer, because we held to a different standard. So, like accountability is huge in our company as well.
But there's a massive fan of favor over your business. Like if you do stuff right, yes, the enemy is going to come and there's going to be a lot of challenges and you're going to still lose a lot of money, but there's just a different kind of favor over your life.
Yeah, and grace. I mean, to recover from losses like that it's supernatural.
Yeah.
That we've seen as well, where we should have closed doors a few times, but.
If there's one place I've always heard testimony, it's in business. And I think like that's like, not to sound cliche, but like God is the best business partner you can ask for. I've seen so many supernatural stories where businesses are going under and there is no worldly way for them to ever recover. And God is like, well, watch me do this. And I think that's where it's great, is we serve a God that we can boast in. And there's no way better to boast than in business because the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we like you mentioned, we serve a God who's above our economy, who's above gains and losses. And if you rely on that economy, come on, there's no way out of it. Yeah, like in a bad way.
Yeah, it also you have more what's the word? Tenacity, because you're not doing it for the financial thing. There's other reasons why you're doing it, and that's why going through hard times is actually it's easier because you have that view on why you're doing it.
That's great. Gentlemen, dankie. Yes, ons is 'n lekker gesprek. Ek weet ons kan nog praat. Ek wil nog vrae gevra het oor wat is die toekoms van koffie in die land en wat sê julle vrouens en al daai dinge. So
Episode 2 is op pad.
Episode 2 is op pad. Check.
Maybe you must get the wives in.
Bring hulle, Joe.
I do nooit die skottel goed nie.
Ja. Maar ek waardeer die gesprek. Lekker om so 'n bietjie met almal van julle te praat. Dis lekker om so 'n bietjie te praat moet. Ek dink vir enigiemand wat luister, enigiemand wat kyk, saam luister, saam saam is, daar so baie wat mense nog kan sê. Ons sal nog bietjie daaroor gesels, nog bietjie in dit inklim, maar baie dankie vir wat julle doen. Dankie vir wat julle doen in die gemeenskap. Dankie vir wat julle doen in terme van koffie en dat koffie lekker is en ons kan koffie geniet. En dankie vir dis seker nie regtig 'n dankie nie, maar dit is so 'n bietjie verfrissend om te hoor dat daar's koninkryks dinge wat gebeur in die agtergrond. Ek dink daar's kommentaar daar wat ons te min oor praat. Die kommentaar is wat is besig om te gebeur koninkryksgewys buiten die kerkmure op 'n Sondag. Nee? Want ons wil baie keer om bottleneck soontoe. Wat is dit wat daar gebeur het? Is dit nee, maar hierdie is nie daar nie. Dis op 'n maandagooggend as jy opstaan. Wat is besig om te gebeur? En dit is ongelooflik. Ek beloof vir julle die moed, ons area wat hier aangaan. Daar's baie wat nog kan verander. Daar's baie wat nog kan draai. Daar's nog baie donker waar lig kan skyn en waar daar sout kan gesaai word. Maar dit gaan nie gebeur as die pastore eksklusief beter begin preek nie. Nee, dit gaan nie gebeur as oom Johan Woensdag een minder bier bestel nie. Dis nie waar dit gaan lê nie. Dit gaan lê in elke dag, elke normale ou wat se wêreld verander en wat regtig gelig word en regtig sout word en ek sê dankie. Nie my dankie om te sê nie, maar ek sê dankie. Lekker. Dankie. Caleb.
I would probably say the exact same thing, but in English. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for your time. I really, really do appreciate it. I know these guys also really appreciate it. The people watching, you can't see, but we have a team behind the cameras as well. And so all of us are really appreciative of you guys taking time out of your day to really just spend it with us and almost put your hearts on the table and be transparent in regards to business and spirituality.
Ja, lekker.
Lekker.
Shot.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Grounded. Thanks.